Hello ladies. The downside of agreeing to do this by video is that I have no idea who I'm talking to. So hello to those of you I do know, and hello to those of you I don't. It would be nice to have been there in person, but this will have to do, and it's a privilege and an honour to speak to whoever it is that I'm speaking to in this very amazing, special, powerful journey that you're in the middle of or towards the end of. My name's Ora Goldstein. I live in London, but I'm from South Africa, which I hope is clear by my accent, because when people tell me that I'm starting to sound English, I already get worried. My roots are still very much in South Africa, and I am a mom, and amongst a few other things that I teach antenatal classes, and I'm a doula, and I sometimes have the privileged opportunity to accompany women into birth, but more often I have the privilege and opportunity to accompany couples on their journey through the last bit of pregnancy and their journey towards labour and preparing for labour. Together with a friend, I run a course called Serene Birthing, and the course focuses on helping women to understand their birthing bodies enough to feel empowered during their own births, helping husbands or mothers or friends become good and useful birthing partners, and giving women techniques for relaxation and mindfulness and calmness during birth, which in turn connects them to spiritual and meaningful experience and the sort of tremendous spirituality that exists within childbirth. I've had my own personal journey through my own births and through learning to have the opportunity to look at birth and pregnancy in a very different way from how I initially experienced it 12 and a half years ago. And I love to be able to share that with other women, because I can see that it is life-changing on so many levels. First of all, no woman ever forgets their birth story. So, the more positive the birth story and the better a story you carry with you affects women on many different levels, in terms of, recovering from labour, connecting with their babies, not carrying trauma, just being able to view birth as a positive experience has numerous positive consequences, which I think are very, very far-reaching. So bearing that in mind, I was asked to share a little bit about, trying to connect a pregnant woman to the spirituality of pregnancy, and a few thoughts about childbirth. And I'll try to use the few minutes that I have to maybe just tap into a few of those ideas. First of all, I always feel that I have the opportunity to teach women who are expecting their first baby, and also couples who are expecting their 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th babies, who are looking for a different way to experience birth because they found their previous births difficult or traumatic. And I often wonder which I prefer better. What's better, to teach first-timers or to teach people who have done this before? And I'm often torn, because on the one hand, for those of you who are approaching motherhood for the first time, there's this wonderful, amazing quality of the unknown, because you can be idealistic and you can expect the best, and you can have all your dreams and ideals, and there's something very wonderful and special and exciting about that. And for women who are given skills and are able to approach birth with the right support and achieve the kind of births that they're dreaming of, whatever that may be, then it's wonderful to have had that as your first experience, because that will colour the way you experience, please God, other pregnancies after that and births after that. On the flip side, for those women who are coming as 4th, 5th, 6th timers, there's the wonderful gift of experience and the known. And with the known and experience, one can better and change one's experience for the positive. So really, I like teaching both, because there's something wonderful about both. So to those of you who are experiencing this as first-timers, hold on to that excitement. And for those of you who are experiencing this not as first-timers, hold on to the excitement as well, but also use the knowledge and the experience before to better it and to become empowered through that to achieve the kind of birth that you would like to be able to achieve. In terms of spirituality and pregnancy, it's really difficult to tap into because of how physical an experience both pregnancy and childbirth are. I know that it works differently in South Africa than in London, because in London, if you have a low-risk pregnancy, you probably get scanned about 3 times in pregnancy, and there's no kind of continuous care, so you don't end up seeing any one person your whole way through pregnancy. You see a whole host of midwives, and you never actually meet with a gynae or an obstetrician unless there's something complicated, so you actually hope to only meet with sort of midwives as you go along. Whereas in South Africa, I know it works differently, and you have sort of one person caring for you and many scans. But I think in both of those experiences, it's easy to get lost in the real physicality of the experience, and the blood tests and the scans and the poking and prodding and checking and appointments, etc., etc. And I think that it's so worthwhile and so needed to be able to tap into what the spirituality of pregnancy is. So of course the ultimate is the fact that we as women and mothers and future mothers were chosen to be the nurturers. We're chosen to have this tremendous experience of being able to hold potential and nurture it to become actual, to take something that is minuscule and not seen, and through the process of 9 months create life, in partnership of course with husbands and with Hashem. But the woman is the one who takes that potential and turns it into life, and that is the essence of who a woman is, and that is who she's been brought into the world to be. So I think we see that in many other aspects of life as well, but this is really the microcosm of that experience. So there is this sort of real fulfillment of the essence of who we are as women, and this incredible experience of course, there'll be days where pregnancy really takes its toll, and you're tired, or you're nauseous, or your back's sore, or a million other complaints. But I think that, there's something incredible, but also the fact that when you're sitting on the couch with your legs up doing absolutely nothing, you're still growing this life. It's still happening inside you. Even when you're putting no effort into it, it's happening within you. As well as that, what's also happening inside you is that besides for the journey of this incredible physical growing that this baby is going through at a rapid rate, it is also going through a spiritual journey at a rapid rate during these 9 months of learning the foundations of Torah, these kind of groundwork that is going to be instilled in this child, that after this child is born, for the rest of its life, it's going to be working towards retrieving what's been instilled in its subconscious and becoming one with what it already possesses inside it. That whole process is taking place within you, and it's important not to lose sight of that, because what that means is that during those 9 months, you are the host to an angel, and that's a pretty important job. So it makes us conscious of the way we act and talk and experience pregnancy because of what we're carrying inside us. And of course we know that as mothers and future mothers, we always refer to the mothers who are meant to get examples from, not only our own mothers, but our foremothers, and gain so much wisdom from Torah stories about who all of those mothers were. And of course we know that one of the ultimate stories of first of all a woman who truly deeply yearned for a child and poured out her heart. Our example for that is the story of Hannah. And we speak about the fact that her reward, or the gift that she got for the deep, heartfelt prayers that she poured out, was the birth of the prophet Samuel. That she was given that this barren woman was given this incredible gift of this very extraordinary child. And actually what she articulates in her prayer is not that she's asking for an extraordinary child, she's actually asking for an ordinary child, somebody who will just be able to be amongst the people, and somebody who's not too bright but not too dull, just kind of average, but a walk in the way of Hashem. And she's gifted with this really extraordinary child who is not gifted because of his above average abilities, but because his mother had this vision for him, and she davened for him, and she stood by his side in order for him to fulfill that vision, and helped him to tap into the potential that he had. And she promises that she'll give over this child to the service of Hashem, and true to her word, when this child is 2 years old, she brings him to the high priest, Eli, and she leaves him with the priest only with a small coat that she's personally made for him. And it says that as he grows, she sends him size-appropriate replacements for this garment. And he wears it wherever he is, teaching, counseling, learning, spreading his wisdom for many, many years. Wherever he goes, he wears this coat that his mother made for him. And Reb Chaim Shmulevitz comments on the story and says that every fiber of this special garment that Shmuel wore was infused with the yearning and the davening and the wishes and the dreams and the tefillahs of this mother for what she wished for her son. And as he wore this garment, her visions and her dreams were transferred to him and gave him all the strength and inspiration he needed to be able to fulfill his potential in this world. And in fact, that prayer that she gives in order to be able to have a child in the first place becomes the ultimate example for prayer for tefillah that we know of today. She's used as the example of sort of real tefillah. And I think that truly, there's the story of Freud being approached by a couple or by a woman who asks, at what age should I start kind of like educating my child? And Freud asks how old the child is, and the mother says, he's 5 months old, and he says, you're 14 months too late. We know that the inside environment that a child grows up in is part of its beginnings. It's part of its foundation. That education and what it sees and is surrounded by and its environment is key already. So it's not that it only starts after that baby's born. So a woman gets this tremendous experience, but also challenge, because she has to look past all the physical, difficulty of pregnancy to be able to tap into this experience that she is, growing this child, but also growing the soul, and that she is laying down the foundations, and that she needs to daven her whole way through pregnancy for what she hopes for this child to become. And then she never stops davening after that. That davening continues after that child is born, and on and on and on, because that's what mothers do, and that journey begins during pregnancy. As far as birth goes, I don't have a lot of time to share with you because I've been given a time limit here, but what I will share is, I think, 3 things that I wish that every woman knew in childbirth, and that I wish that every woman was able to tap into. I think number 1 is, in no particular order, but maybe I'll just start with this one because it's the most practical. I think that there's a specific challenge, if I may say, in the South African birthing culture that looks at birth as a very medical experience. There's a very high C-section rate, and it's actually not so easy in certain cases to get huge support for natural birth, and women sometimes have to fight for that. I know that I'm generalizing, and some of you may have had different experiences, but I've also taught quite a few women in South Africa, and I see this, recurring, and wonder why that is. It's not so easy to kind of like fight that culture. But that being said, I wish that women knew that birth, when it's a low risk birth, and there's nothing specific, obviously, that is a medical concern, that birth is a natural, normal experience, and that if women were able to tap into that and be able to be empowered by the fact that birth is a natural, normal experience, and that your body is giving you messages the whole way through birth. And often the reason we're not able to listen to that is because we're so caught up by the pure physicality and maybe the fear and anxiety of childbirth that we're not able to listen to what our bodies are telling us. But when we're in a calm and empowered space where we believe that our bodies know what to do and that this is natural, then we're able to listen to what our bodies are telling us during birth and do what our bodies tell us to do. Number 2, I wish that women knew that your ultimate doula in birth is Hashem, who is in the room with you during birth. Of course he is, but it's sometimes hard to lose, it's easy to lose sight of that. What that means is that I think we get very invested in the medical staff that are in the room with us, that doctor whoever is delivering this baby, that doctor whoever needs to be there because otherwise I can't have this baby. I'm not negating the importance of medical care, and I'm not necessarily, advocating free birthing in a field, but hospital's a good choice, and it's good to have a good, gynae or obstetrician, whoever's with you. But I think that sometimes we invest all our trust in them and forget that the ultimate doula in the room is Hashem, the ultimate obstetrician in the room is Hashem, and davening for breath, for energy, for strength, for just, that last bit of pushing, that's where it comes from. Say it out loud in birth, or don't say it out loud, but think that. And the last thought is the fact that, birth for a woman is the ultimate experience. Her ultimate spiritual experience in childbirth is the giving up of control, which is so difficult. Giving up of control does not mean being disempowered. It's not being out of control. It's actively choosing to give over control to Hashem. It means being willing to be a vessel to bring a soul into the world. It means that I don't control this. I'm a vessel in this, and it means letting go. It's a process. It's not an easy thing that you can snap your finger and just get into. It's actually what I spend a lot of time teaching women. But I think that getting into that headspace, if you need to sing the song from Frozen, Let It Go, then sing that. But that really is the ultimate mantra in birth, is the ability to be able to let go and let God. That's what birth is all about. I wish I had more time. I wish each and every single one of you a healthy and smooth journey through pregnancy, and the birth that you dream of, and the ability to let go and let Hashem do his work, and to remember that the wish that we give a pregnant woman, which is B'Sha'a Tova, is more meaningful than just good luck and hope it goes well. B'Sha'a Tova means at a good hour, which really means at the perfect hour, minute, second that this soul is destined to come into the world, because there's an exact moment that that soul is perfect for this world, and you get to be the vessel that allows that to happen. Goodbye.